Here we go. Here we go. Where we are. Hello. Ooh, a member. Okay. Here we go. Alright. I got some boxes full up to make. So I'll do that. I got some snacks to eat also. But I can answer some questions. Hello. Will I do that? Where we at? Oh. Hello. Oh my gosh. I have to like really tuck it in to get it to fold out. Wait. I need this part. Yes, to be flexible. It's a tight fit. At work today, it wasn't too crazy, surprisingly. The past while has been crazy at work, but today not so much. Hello. Thank you for joining. Yes, I said hello. So, fold it all up. I got a busy week ahead of me. That's for sure. Okay. I'm getting faster at this, which is good. I know people didn't come here to watch me do arts and crafts, but that's what I have to do today. Arts and crafts. Okay, I watched the movie's Weapons, so let me I could do a movie review on that, because it was a crazy movie, but I liked it. It was a good movie though. Weapons. Okay. Hello. So, if you guys haven't seen Weapons, I think it's already out of theaters. I don't know. It was in theaters a little bit ago, but I don't think it's in theaters anymore. It's a horror movie, and it was scary. There was a lot happening in this movie, and a whole lot of questions unanswered throughout the movie. There was just so many questions I had, and they weren't getting answered for a while. So Weapons starts, I don't know, if you want to watch the movie, don't listen to this part. If you do, if you don't care, listen. So The movie Weapons, it's based in this random town. I don't even think they give us the town name or anything. I don't remember if they gave the town name, but it starts with this kid. He's talking about how everyone in this town, the kids had fun, they were all playing, this and that. Then one day, the kids they didn't show up at school. So there this so you know, like in a regular elementary school classroom, there's about 16-ish kids. Well, of 16 kids, 15 just one night went missing. Just gone, poof. Well, not poof. All these kids, they walked out of their houses. For some reason, they walked out of their houses. It was 2 a.m. on the dot, basically 2 a.m. These kids, all at the same time, they left their house. They left. They said, "Bye, people. Hello, hello." I'm doing a movie story time, but yeah, hello. I don't want to keep interrupting I want to get down to what happened in this movie because it was crazy. We're doing a weapons review of the movie Weapons. So, where were we? So, all these 15 kids, they left their houses all at the same time, 2 a.m. Just, they all just walked out of their houses. No shoes on, whatever clothes they were wearing when they were sleeping, didn't matter. They all... What? I don't know. What are you... I don't know what that means. But these kids, they all left their houses at the same time. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but they left the house all at the same time. And that's where we start the movie at, is in one classroom, 15 kids, they left. No words, no plans to run away from home together. Parents didn't find any suspicious activities in their bedrooms. Nothing. They just left. And parents were furious. The cops, the teacher, because this girl, she's a teacher. She teaches in this class, and it's only her class that left. And they're like, "Hey, girl, why did all the kids leave in your class? No one else's class. And there was one kid left. What did you do?" They were calling her a witch and doing all this stuff to her. They're like, "You're a witch. The kids are gone. You're a witch." They were writing "witch" on her door of her car, all this stuff. And there was no answers as to where these kids could have gone, because the security cameras in all these houses only caught the kids leaving. It didn't catch where they were going. It didn't catch anything. It just caught these kids woke up and they just left the house. And they were gone. They've been gone for I'd say maybe a month, maybe a couple weeks. It didn't give a full timeline as to when they were gone, but they were gone. They've been gone for a long time. That's where the movie starts us at, is these kids, they've been gone for a long time, and the parents are going crazy because they're like, "Where's my kid?" All this stuff. So this movie gives us basically a view of different characters in the movie. Do I remember their names? Absolutely not. I don't remember their names. I just kind of remember their faces. So it starts off following the main teacher's life. What is she up to? Is she the reason these kids left? Is she the reason they went missing? Because it was all her classroom. She's the teacher. Parents were thinking, was she having relationships with the kids, like inappropriate ones. They didn't know. There were no answers, and she was the only adult that had anything to do with these kids. So we get a quick glimpse into this teacher's life, and it shows you that this teacher, she's kind of a mess. She's kind of a mess. Like, no offense to her, yes, it's a big issue that kids are going missing from their classroom, but like, in her life, she's having an affair with this cop, and this cop is married, and he's having an affair with her, and she knows he's married. So we get that picture of like, this teacher, she's not really moral. She's having affairs left and right, while the children in her classroom are still disappeared, nowhere to be found. So you're like, did she have something to do with it? Since she's like sticking around with this guy. So yeah, we take a look into her life. She has a drinking problem. She's sleeping with this cop in this town who is married, and his wife is trying to have a baby. The wife calls him every day and it's like, hey, my eggs, they're doing stuff. My eggs are getting ready. And that's where we are with this main teacher. And this is the teacher. She looks like she's like a girl in her like mid 20s to early 30s. Yeah, that's what she looks like. So in this movie, this teacher, she's having nightmares. Like, she's having nightmares of basically her being in the room with all the students. They raise their heads and they're doing like creepy smile like this. Like this. They're making a creepy smile. Like, she's having these visions. She's having these nightmares. So we're like, is this girl a witch? Like, is she the reason these kids are disappearing? We'll see. So the movie then is like, shows her doing all her cheating, doing all this. Then it cuts to someone else. So like, with each character they're showing in this movie, they're showing like their name, like Toby, like Mark, Paul, Alex, and you're like, who are these people? Because they show their names first, and then they show different scenes with these specific characters, like in their thoughts. So obviously it was her name first, because she's the teacher. She's the one everyone is accusing, which I don't blame them. Because it really seems like you would think she knew what was going on. So yeah, she's off cheating. Then we, like, basically parents keep coming up to her and are like, you're the reason my kid's missing. And like, they keep having these like school hall meetings with these kids, parents, and the principal's like, we're trying our best, like the police are trying their best to find your kids, like calm down. And the parents are all like, it's her, it's that teacher, did you even look into her? Like, that's what they're saying, like, did you even look into this lady? Like, she's got a DUI, she's having an affair. Like, they're like, did you even look into this lady? And that's what the parents are asking, which is valid, and no questions. And you see the police in this town, they're pretty chill. Like, they're not, in my opinion, I felt like these police, they weren't even looking for these kids, really. Like, they said they were looking for them, but it didn't show many scenes of them being like, where are the kids? Like, I think they gave up. That's what it felt like. In the beginning, it felt like the police, they're not doing their work. They're not even like looking into stuff. They're not asking enough people. Like, they're just not interrogating enough people like that. So you're definitely like, what's going on? So, and sorry if I jump around, because the movie jumped around. Like, the whole movie was jumping around. So that's why I'm like, there was so much jumping around within this movie that, like, you really had to be watching to follow along, because it went from one person to the next person. So they showed the teacher's life. The next person they showed is one of the parents. He's this dad, and he seems like one of the parents that's like, I'm ready to find my kids. Like, he seemed like he was doing more searching and more research, like on, like, where these kids could be, because he kept looking at his security footage, asking other parents if he could look at the security footage. Like, he was doing so much more than the police seemed like they were doing. I forgot what the dude's name was. Doesn't matter. He was just one of the parents that. Yeah, he was just watching. He was just one of the parents that was just like, I just need to find my kid. Where's my kid? So he even went up to the teacher, like, at a gas station, and was like, hey, like, he was starting to question her, because he's like, why your classroom? He was asking her all these questions, and this was part of his investigation. So he was investigating the missing kids, obviously. So he went up to her, he saw her car, because everyone wrote witch on the car, so they're like, so he knew it was her car. So he saw her at a gas station, and he was like, why you? Why this? Da da da. And as these people are talking to each other, in the background, coming towards, cause so imagine they're at a gas station, they're talking to each other, they're both outside of the car. She was pumping gas, he was just there. He saw her, he got out of his car. So as they're talking to each other, you just see an Asian dude. And this Asian dude, at first I didn't know who he was, but we end up knowing who he is. So you see this Asian dude, his eyes are bleeding. So not, well, I guess, yeah, his head and eyes are bleeding, and his eyes are like open wide like this, and his mouth is like open wide like this. He's running to her like this, like he's running in a T form like this, and he's going straight. He's beelining straight to the teacher, straight to her. Like, there's no mistakes. This man is after her, and like, it's almost like he's in like a trance, like he's going straight to her. So while he's running like this to her with his head's bleeding, his eyes are bleeding, his face is like this. He's running like this, and she looks like, because the guy was, so the dad, he was facing her, and she was like this. The guy was running to her to attack her. She sees him, and she's like, oh my god. And this guy, he tries to attack her, and only her. Like, he doesn't try to attack the dad. He just tries to attack only her. Like, it's specific. Like, it's a specific attack. And it's like animalistic. Like, it's like prey. Like nothing was gonna stop him from getting to her. And the dad starts like helping her, trying to kick this guy, but he's just so like intense with like, I need to get this woman. Like he doesn't see anyone else. He says, I need to get this woman. So he beelines it straight to her. It's like, ah. And so she runs away. She runs into the gas station store, and is like, help me. The gas station owner clearly does not want to help her. He says, get out of here. And this dude, the crazy dude, is like this. He's chasing her around, just running at her, just trying to get her. And and he fumbled with the parent outside. The parent got knocked down a bit, so the guy was after her. The parent came back, helped him, her, kicked him around, and she got to her car, and he got to her car, and he was like trying to smash the windows. He smashed the window of her car, so she started driving, and you would think like, okay, this guy's gonna stop when she starts driving. No, full speed running after her, like, and she's in a car, and he's full speed going like this, and you're like, okay, why isn't he stopping? Like, calm down. And the only reason she managed to escape is because he got hit by another car, because he was running in the middle of the street. He was barefoot, he was running in the middle of the street, and he died. Obviously, he got hit by a car. He died. So, and that was the part of the parent. So, boom, another name pops up, and it's um, it's this druggy guy. We're following a drug guy that's on like, I don't know. He just has shots. He just has drugs all over him. He's trying to steal things from people, and he's just trying to make more money to get more drugs. But he doesn't have a job, so he's trying to break into places to get money, which is valid. So, he's all scratchy, and he's all pale, and he's all like this, trying to get the drugs, obviously. And he was breaking into a building, and the cops caught him breaking into a building. So the cop was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Stop!" And then the cop asked, like, "Do you have something sharp, like, on you?" Like, he's trying to arrest him. The guy said, "No, I don't." The cop reached in his pocket. There was a needle. Poked the cop. The cop knocked the guy out. Knocked him out. Knocked out this druggie. And then waited for this druggie to wake up and was like, "Hey, don't press charges. I'm a cop. We're gonna go our separate ways. I'm gonna forget you tried to break into this place. You're gonna forget that I knocked you out because your needle poked me." So that's what happened. So the cop, he left. And if you're still following, this cop happens to be the one cheating with the teacher, having the affair with the teacher. He's the same guy. So not a very good moral cop either. So yeah, there's a whole lot of people in this movie that have a bit lacking morals, I'd say. So the cop, he went back to the station. The druggie, he woke up. He went his separate ways from the cop. We're still following this druggie. He didn't get what he wanted. He wanted to find money. He wanted to find something so he could probably buy more drugs. It doesn't say that he's gonna buy more drugs, but from the look of him, that's what he's going to do. Obviously, is buy more drugs. So he's breaking into cars and like trying to find if there's an open car. He finds an open car. He searches through it, finds a kid's tablet, and he goes to the pawn shop to pawn this kid's tablet. And the pawn guy was like, "This is like $50, if even, this tablet." And the kid is like, "Really? Can it be more?" And he's like shaking because he's on drugs, obviously. And in the background of the pawn shop, obviously there's, how gas stations and stores have like missing people's posters. Well, there's a missing poster of all these 15 kids, and there's a $50,000 reward money. So the guy's like, the druggie just sees it as he's doing this, but really doesn't mind that right then. So we follow him, and we see that he's homeless. He's got a tent in the woods, and for some reason this town is in the woods. Every town where kids go missing, they always end up in the woods somewhere. I don't know why, but they do. So he's in the woods, and he's got his tent. He's got a bunch of drugs in his tent, a bunch of needles of something in his tent, and you just go, ooh, this guy's like really in the deeps. Like he's clearly looking to get more drugs. So then the guy pretty much goes, okay, I clearly need more money. So he decides to break into a house that's like kind of outside of the woods, like a little past the woods. So he decides to break into this house. And in this house, he doesn't see anyone in the house. And while he's breaking in, like to find just like objects that could be for sale. So he goes through the door that is just open or something. Hello? Yeah, so he goes through the door that just like happens to be open. Like, and it's like a really eerie house. Like, it's a big house, but it's dark. Like, the windows are shut. Like, there's newspaper like on the windows. Like, basically shutting out the light, shutting everything off in this house. And you're like, okay, this house is kind of creepy. And as this guy is breaking in, he goes into like, it's like a regular house setting where it's like there's a dining room, and then you go into the living room. So as he goes into the living room, he just sees these two adults. They're probably like husband and wife. Like it's probably their house. They're sitting there, and weirdly enough, like you would think like they'd be sitting there, like, and they hear someone break into their house, and you would think they'd be like, oh my god. No, these people, they're just like this. And this guy, he went in front of them because at first he thought, oh shoot, I got caught. But he went in front of these two people. They're not moving. It's like they don't even see him or hear him, and he's going like this in front of them. Like, hello? Hello? And they're just like this. So he was like, what? So he's like, whatever, let me just steal their stuff in this house. So he gets some stuff, he's looking around, he opens the door, it's to a basement. As houses have, they have basements. And he starts to go down this basement, and obviously basements are dark-ish, there's like minimal light in a basement. So he's going down this basement, and he sees a kid standing. I think he sees more than one kid standing, if I remember right. He saw one kid, and then he looked some more, and there was other kids. And what were they doing? They were standing just like the parents were sitting still, not moving. And obviously this guy thinks like, oh my god, I better get out of here. I'm on drugs. That can't be real. And as he sees them, he starts to leave, he starts to run, but then suddenly the parents that were like this, sitting still, are beelining towards him, starting to chase him in the house. So what does he do? He leaves the house because they're starting to go like this. So he runs away from the house. He runs. He's like, I can't do this. I need to get out of here. Like, I need to get out. He gets out. And he goes, well, that was a creepy house. But then he remembers, hey, there's the missing poster of those kids. let me call it in. And he called the cops and was like, hey, I think I found these kids. They were in a basement, in a creepy basement, in a creepy house. He doesn't know the exact address. He just knows they were there. So he's like, can the police meet me here to see the house? So then we stop at his story, and we flash to someone else, and we flash to the principal. So we see the principal of the school that the kids go to, and when we see the principal, we realize, oh my god, that's the Asian guy from that tried to chase the teacher like this. All scary, but this is before it got to that point where was he was getting all murderous. So this is before he got all crazy. And we see him at the principal office. We see that this woman or teacher calls him and is like, hey, you need to check on this house, on this kid. I don't think the kid is okay. Like, I haven't seen the parents in a while, and it looks like the kid's just at home alone. And the principal's like, ugh, like he doesn't really want to take this, but he's like, ugh, I guess I have to call the parents in just to see, because he's a mandated reporter, so he has to check it out if someone calls it in. So, so the president, no, not president, sorry, the principal, he was like, okay, fine, I'll call these parents. I'll have a little meeting with them. They'll just clear things up. So we called the parents. I don't know who answered the phone, but someone answered and was like, okay, yeah, we'll come for the meeting. So we checked to like another day. It's the meeting. His assistant principal was like, hey, your 2 o'clock meeting is here. And what is he expecting? He's expecting the parents. And he's only met the father of this child, of this specific child. So when a woman walks in, he probably thinks like, oh, this must be like the mother. So the woman sits down, and the principal goes like, oh, hey, who are you? The lady goes, oh, I'm the aunt of this kid. This kid's name is Alex. This is like the only name I remember in this movie. So the aunt was like, I'm Alex's aunt. His parents, they're feeling a little sick, so I decided to come in place of them. And the principal, he was like, actually, like, I need his parental guardians, his parents, because you're not a parental guardian, to come in, like, for this to be a valid meeting, because I don't know who you are. You say you're the aunt, but, like, you're not his parents. So she was like, oh, okay, I'll tell them that you called and you want them to come in. So you're kind of like, are these parents like so sick that they're just having the aunt go in like without even telling the principal that they're sick? Like, he didn't know they were sick. So this aunt, and she's a kind of weird looking lady. She's got like an orange wig, and she looks real old. Like, she looks like she's in her like 60s, 70s era. She looks real old. So you're like, oh, what is this old lady doing here? And she's got kind of like a interesting smile, and she's like, oh, well, so he forgets about it. She leaves. He continues off on his day. I don't know what the timeline was, but maybe a day or two later, you see this principal. He's at his house with his husband. They're gay. Doesn't matter. Not really part of the story, but He's with her husband. They're about to watch like some TV, a movie. Doesn't matter. They're about to watch something. They're about to have lunch. Then ring, 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 or knock, knock, knock. There was either a knock or a ring on their door. He opens the door, and who's at the door? This aunt. This aunt is at the door, and the aunt that came to the meeting instead of the parents, and the principal was like surprised, like, what are you doing here, like at my house? Like, aunt of this random kid that is at the school, like, and you're like, first of all, first questions in my mind were like, how did she find his house? Like, what is this lady doing? Why is she coming to his house? And she acted like, oh, I just ran all the way here. I missed the bus. She's acting out of breath. She's like, oh, I just missed the bus. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I need some water. Can I come in? I need some water. Can I come in? And the guy, he's at first like, he said he was about to say no, but his husband was like, yeah, of course you can come in, because I don't think the husband knew that this is a random lady that met at the school like a few days ago. So he's like, of course you can come in. You're tired. She's really old looking too. So he's like, you're tired. And mind you, this lady's like, I'm so out of breath. And then every time she asks for something, she acts like she was out of breath. She's like, but every time she was like, she wanted to state what she needed. So if you're like, I'm so out of breath, I need some water. Just like that. You're like, are you actually out of breath? So she kept being like, I need some water. And you're like, are you out of breath? Are you, like, what's going on? So they invite her in. She's like, I need some water. He's like, oh, let me get you a cup. And she says, no, a bowl. And the guy was like, a bowl? Why? He was like, and she's like, yeah, a bowl. That's how I prefer it. And you know, ain't no one drinking water out of a bowl. Like, and they're like, okay, whatever. They gave her a bowl of water. Then, suddenly, this girl, she opens her bag. She has a big bag with her. She opens it up. When they give her the bowl of water, she brings out a stick. And you're like, what's this stick? And so on the stick, there's ribbon, there's hair, and you're like, oh no. Because you know, if a random white lady who's super old, has creepy looking clown makeup, has red hair, is holding a stick with ribbon, and it's like a pokey stick, you know something's about to go down. You know something's not good is about to happen. That's what you know. So she's got the stick, and he's like, what is that? He's like, you have the ribbon from my my room. And she's like, mm-hmm. And as she shows the stick, and she goes, did you tell anyone about me? And he's like, no. And she's like, okay. So with the stick, it has pokey stuff like the normal stick does. She pokes her finger. It starts bleeding. She cuts herself. And they go, do you need a towel? And she's like, no. With the stick, she's holding it. With her bloody finger, she goes, and then you're like, what is going on? And they're like, and the guys are like, what are you doing? And she's like, And then she's like, she basically said like, oh, I need you to do something for me. And she's like, do you want to see what this stick does? And what does she do with the stick? she controls this guy with it. She rings a bell, she brings a bell out of her bag. She rings it. Suddenly, this principal, he looks hypnotized. He goes, like the second she rings the bell, he goes. So she and this is from her blood. So she rings the bell. She stands still with the. She has the stick in her hand. What does she do with the stick? She goes like this. She breaks it. The second she breaks the stick, ooh, it's over. It's over. She broke the stick. This principal, he looks at his husband, lifts his arm up, like he can't control it. He lifts his arm up. She broke the stick. He lifts his arm up, looks at his husband, starts choking the husband, starts choking him. And they get on the ground, he starts choking him. Then, when choking him wasn't enough, he starts banging his head over and over again. And it's not even like a let me knock you out. It's a let me viciously you. And it's aggressive. It's crazy. Like animalistic. And you're just like, what is going on? Because first of all, this lady comes to their house, pretends she's out of breath, asks for a bowl of water, breaks the stick, he starts killing his husband. And you're like, okay, this must be a witch. And what does she do with the stick? She throws the stick in the bowl of water, and once he just stops. The second she throws the stick in the water, he stops what he's doing. Didn't save the husband. Like the head, it wasn't a head anymore, let me tell you that. It was not a head anymore. So then she's got a different stick. Now she puts hair on the stick. And you're like, whose hair is that? That's all you're wondering. Whose hair is this? She puts her blood on the stick, this new stick, breaks it. He goes off running. And where does he go running to? He goes all the way running to the gas station. To where? Where the teacher's at. Because what? The hair that this witch lady wrapped on her stick broke it. You find out it's her hair, and you find out this man has been used to try to kill people. So the second this lady breaks the stick, people start doing whatever she wants them to do. And you're like, what? Because you're still trying to piece things together. You're still like, what exactly is going on here? Because they introduce this witch lady. You're like, what is going on here? Like something is up here. And something was definitely up there. So, where are we at? We just found out this principal, he got hypnotized by this witch lady who broke a stick, murdered his husband, now went to murder the teacher. So, that's where we're at. And so, after you see all this happening, they flash, they go back to the teachers and like side or point of view. I don't know what they really consider it in this movie. Point of view, I guess. and she's talking to the parent, and the parent is like, hmm. She's like, I don't know what happened. Like, this has never happened to me before. It's like, yeah, obviously this has never happened to you before, girl. Like, obviously some guy didn't run like this to you before and try to kill you. And she's like, I've never seen that before. The parent that's been investigating the missing kids, he goes, I've seen it before. And you go, what? He's like, I've seen that run before. And he goes, that's the same run the kids had when they left the house. They all ran in the same T format that that man ran. Like that. And she went, huh? And he's like, let me show you. He pulls out a map. He goes, like a map of, this man, he just has a map of their city or town. He pulls out a map and goes, my kid, he started running this direction. I saw on the other people's camera, their kids, they all started from another direction, obviously, because it's a different house, but they all went to meet at this one area. And the teacher goes, that's Alex's house. Dun dun dun. And you're like, who's Alex? Who's Alex? He's the little boy who was the only one left at the school. He was the only little kid left in the classroom. He was the only one that didn't disappear in this classroom. And you're like, okay, this is getting interesting. And you're like, okay, what did Alex? You're like, what does Alex have to do with this? Boom. The TV, it flashes the name Alex, and you're like, well, we're gonna find out what Alex has to do with this. So it goes to Alex. He's at his house. His parents, they pick him up from school. They're always on time. His dad always picks him up on time. And they're all la-di-da, laughing, having fun. And then they go, okay, Alex, your aunt is visiting. She's super sick, like she's on her deathbed sick. And he goes, why did she have to come here? And they go, we're the only people she has. She wanted to come here, and she's just super sick. Like, she just needs to be here. And the dad never met the sister, or yeah, aunt. And the mom was like, yeah, like, my sister, she's super sick. So they're eating dinner, and they go, okay, Alex, brush your teeth, get ready for bed, leave your aunt alone. Like, she's sleeping, she's super sick, she's on her deathbed. That's what they told her. And obviously, this is a little kid, so what does he do? He brushes his teeth, he goes to the door that this woman is sleeping in, he opens the door, and you just see her on the bed like this. And I tell you, it looked like that lady was already gone. Like, she was sick, she was all pale and like all crinkly. Like, she looked like you know how Dobby looks in Lord of the Rings or whatever. She looked like that. She was like, and she was like sleeping with her eyes open, basically. She was, what? Thank you. So yeah, this lady, she's gone. Like, you see her and you're like, this woman is, why is she even here? She should be in a grave 20 million feet deep. That's how, oh, that's how she looked. She's not okay. So you're like, oh my god, And this kid, he looks at her and he's like, oh my god. He closes the door because it was very scary looking. And you're like, oh my god. So he goes to sleep, wakes up, goes to school. After school, all the kids are getting picked up. What happens? His dad isn't there. And you're like, that's interesting because as we could see, his dad, like the day before, his dad was early. He seemed like he was always early to pick up his kids, so, and always waiting. So you're like, what's going on here? Like, why didn't the dad come to pick up the kid? So he waits like, I don't even know, it seemed like he waited like 2 hours for his parent to come home, and one of the teachers is like, do you want me to take you home? And he's like, nah, I'll walk. So this kid, he looks like he's 5, but he's probably like 8 or 10. So he trudges home, walks home, and he comes home, he opens the door. What are his parents doing? They're at the dining room table, and they're just like this. And you're like, and he's like, Mom, Dad, like, what are you doing sitting there? And they don't reply to him. They didn't hear him, they didn't see him. They're like this, with their eyes open. And the kid's like, Mom, Dad. And guess who's there? Guess who's there sitting across the way from the parents? The aunt. And mind you, do you remember where this aunt was at yesterday? She was as good as being in the grave. Yesterday, she looked like she was past being in the grave. She looked like she was a ghost. And suddenly today, she's talking, she's walking, she's acting all, oh, you're home. And you're like, girl, you were on your deathbed yesterday. Like, you should have been yesterday. What are you doing all lively? And then she's like, oh, you're home. And Alex is like, well, what's wrong with my parents? And she's like, sit down. Then she all stares. She's like, sit down. And she's like, I can make your parents do anything. You better not tell anyone. And he's like, what? And and she's like, you better not tell anyone about me or your parents. You better just tell people your parents are sick. And he's like, why? And she's like, I can make them do anything. So, as we know, the parents are at a dining room table. They're sitting on the dining room table. They suddenly pick up their forks. And he goes, like the kid goes, the parents pick up the fork. And they start going like this. To their own faces, like this. And then the kid was like, Mom, Dad, stop. And the aunt's like, they only listen to me. And she's like, see, I can make them do worse. I can make them each other. And you're like, oh. And they're still like, at their own faces. And then she's like, I can make them do more to themselves. I can make them do more to each other. I can make them do more to you. Basically, she's saying, I can make them anybody. That's what she said. She said, I can make them anybody. So she's like, you better not tell anyone. And then she's like, they need to be fed, so you better make them some soup. You better feed them some soup. And you're like, okay, this lady is messed up. Because let's remember, she's the same lady that was at the principal's house, put the blood on the stick, broke it, and he was his husband gone. And she tried to the teacher of him, but he got hit and died. So you're like, this lady is messed up. Like, for one day, she's dying. The next day, she's making everyone each other. So, you're like, oh no. Oh no. And then, as we know, all the kids went missing. So we're like, oh my god, where are the kids? Is this lady keeping the kids? So then we follow Alex. He's feeding his parents every day. And then a few days later, his aunt, he sees, she's like, Alex. She calls his name in her room. She's like, Alex, come here. So he comes to her, and she's like, her hair is falling out. She's slowly getting back to like being like she should be 20 feet in the grave. So you're like, ooh, she's feeding off these people's souls. So you're like, ooh, oh no, this isn't good. The parents weren't enough for her. So he goes, what's wrong? And she goes, I thought your parents would be enough for me. I'm super sick, Alex. I'm super sick. And he goes, oh, what should we do? Do we need to take you to the hospital? She's like, the hospital won't help. And it hasn't helped. And he's like, what can we do? We need to make you better so you can leave and go home. And she's like, yeah, if I'm better, I'll go home. And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, you know what you can do for me? Maybe you can bring me an item from each of your classmates in school. An item from their house, Alex. Just an item, okay? You better not tell anyone, Alex. You better not tell anyone. And you're like, I'm like, this lady, she needs to go. But what does Alex do? He has to listen to her because remember, she said, I can make your parents do whatever. And that was whatever. So yeah, she was like, you better get out all the items, Alex. So we see him, he's at school, he's being sad. The teacher's like, are you okay? You're being a little more quiet than usual. Obviously, he was already a quiet kid. He was smaller for his age. The kids kind of chuckled at him, pushed him around a bit. So the teacher was just like, oh, are you sure you're okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, you can tell me anything, Alex. And he's like, in his mind, he's like, no, I can't. But she doesn't know that. So he collects. What does he do? You know how kids have cubbies in school? He collects their name tags. He collects them. Boom, boom, boom. Every one of these kids from his class, he's collecting their names. And you're like, oh no, Alex. Oh no, Alex. He puts the names in his backpack, comes home, throws the names at this lady, and she's still like almost dying. She's like, so this lady in her room, it's like a seance. She's got candles all over in a circle. She's got a tree, almost like a tree of life, where she's basically putting all these names and ribbons and all these hair particles from people on there. And you're like, this lady has done it before. Obviously, this was just a new target. So, yeah. So he gives her the names. That later that night, he wakes up. It's like 2 a.m. He comes downstairs. And downstairs in their living room, she's got a big bowl, and she's ripping up these names, and she's speaking gibberish, and she's like, she's ripping up the names, and she's like, and Alex is like, what are you doing? And she's like, just wait, you'll see. So he's watching her do this. They go outside of the house onto the porch. She rings the bell, and they're just waiting. They're waiting a while because, you know, when you hypnotize kids, they can't run that fast. So the kids, they're slowly coming towards the house, and you see all these 15 kids, they're running like this in a V to the house. She leads these hypnotized kids to the basement, and she's feeding off their souls. So at the beginning of the movie, we're like, where are all these kids? They're in Alex's basement. They're in his basement, and I don't think he knew that was gonna happen to his classmates. I mean, I would have known if she did that to my parents. I'm like, she's probably gonna do that to the other classmates, but he didn't know. He didn't know she was gonna do that. And like, we know from the parents, she was sick and dying. Now she's better. Now she's like, who? She's like, I'm a new woman. Yeah, she was like that. I'm a new woman. I'm feeding off these kids. Yay. And you're like, oh no, these kids. Oh no. I was like, how is anyone gonna find them? So we see all this go down. Then the movie cuts back to like the teacher. Is that the teacher? Yeah, it comes back to the teacher and this parent, because they realized on the map all these kids went to Alex's house, so they're sitting, waiting, and they're watching. They're like, should we knock? Should we go in this house? I'm like, turn back, don't go in this house. Turn back, don't go in this house. But suddenly the door opens, and you know the cop that this teacher was having an affair with, he's at the house, and she's like, he's at the house, like the cops are at the house. I mean, the car was there, but it was there for a long time, and she's like, the cop is at the house, and he just opens the door, and he goes, and they're like far away, they're like not too far, they're like, if you're just down the street and you're like looking across to the house. So he tells her to come in. He's like, and then they're like, I guess we should come in, I guess. So they're walking to the house, and before this happens, this aunt, the witch lady, told Alex, she was like, don't cross the salt. Like, we're gonna run away tomorrow, because the aunt, she knew people were catching along to like her doing some weird creepy stuff. So she told Alex, don't cross the salt, and she made a salt across her door where the parents were, and she said, don't cross the salt, don't cross any salt in this house. There was salt where the other people that she kidnapped basically were. She said, don't cross the salt. Leave the salt alone, Alex. Like, don't cross it. So that happened. So when the teacher and the parent came, they came to the house because the cop basically waved them in, was like, hey, come into this house. He didn't like see words, but he just like come in. So they crept into the house, and she's like, hello. Obviously, like before, the house, it's dark, everything's shut, closed. So she sees the cop. He's like in a weird fireplace corner, and he begs her to come. He's like, come closer. So she's about to step, and what do we see on the ground? Like a few feet before where the cop is at and the teacher's coming, there's salt. There's salt on the ground. And what do you remember this old lady told this little boy? She said, Alex, don't cross the salt. But obviously these parents and this teacher, they don't know not to cross the salt. So she crosses the salt, and the parent was like about to stop her, but then she crossed the salt, and then the cop starts chasing her, and they're like, trying to kill them, and another person starts chasing them, trying to kill them, and she's like, oh no, and the parent's like, So they start trying to push them away, and the parents like kicking people. It's like kicking them everywhere. It's like, get out of here. But they're not like normal people that like feel like they got kicked, and usually they'll be like, oh, I got kicked. But these are hypnotized people. They're super hypnotized, so they don't feel pain. So when they get kicked, they just come back up and they're kicked. So like, there was a scene where like the cop, she got to like the kitchen, and he like was about to choke her out on the kitchen, and I don't know why, but she got a potato peeler, and I don't know what she thought she was gonna do with this, but she started peeling his face. Maybe she thought like, oh, like he's gonna feel pain, but she started peeling his face like from the beard down. She was peeling his face like this, but he didn't budge. He didn't feel. She peeled him like a steak. Like she peeled that face like a steak, and she felt nothing. And there, she's still struggling. He still got her, and she's trying to peel his face, and he's not feeling anything. So she grabs his gun. She somehow got a hold of his weapon, and she's like, and she goes like to his throat, and he's still choking her. He still got her while there's a hole in his throat. He's like, whole throat through, bleeding. It's bleeding. He doesn't feel anything. He's still. The only way to stop him was yell, up, right up there, and you're like, ooh. So you really gotta these hypnotized people to stop them. Like there's nothing once they're hypnotized or whatever, nothing can stop them except someone them. So nothing can stop them. So we saw this, and the parent was struggling with another person. So she went to the other person that was with the parent, and she went to the back of the head because the parent was about to get, but she went saved the parent. And the parent, they happened to struggle all the way to the creepy basement. And what does he see in the creepy basement? He sees the kids. He sees all the kids. He's looking for his specific kid first, and he goes, he's looking for his kid. He finds, he couldn't find it yet. So as this is happening, as the teacher and the parent is getting jugged around, Alex, he's still in this house with this creepy aunt. So Alex, he starts, he crosses the salt. He did exactly what the lady told him not to do. He crossed the salt. And what happened? His parents started chasing him because they're kind of guarding her door. So they started chasing him. They chased him around. He was trying to hide in doors, but they're so strong. They started going through the doors. And so he got to the lady's room again. He got to her room. He saw the stick and was like, there's only one way to to save me is to grab the stick. He grabbed the stick, and he's like, he poked himself. He smeared the blood on the stick. And at this point, right now, this lady, the old creepy lady, she started attacking the parent because she was in the basement with these kids, I guess. So she started attacking the parents. They got all the way upstairs. She's attacking them in the living room. So he got the stick. He did this. He did this. And just like the lady taught him, because she showed him all the stick movement that she was doing to hypnotize people. So Alex knew what was going on. He knew exactly what to do. So he poked the stick. He rubbed it. Where did he go? He broke it. like you're supposed to do. And what happened when he, the stick, the creepy old lady, she heard. And this is the same stick that she put all that juju against his own classmates. His own classmates. She jujued up. And this was the stick of all of the classmates' stuff that she jujued up. And she went, and he went, and I don't know if this lady has super hearing or something, super feeling or something, but she heard that, even though realistically I don't think she would have been able to hear it, but she heard it. It went, so she heard it. She went, she started running, and at this point she was slowly getting back to her sickly self, so she was gonna need more people to hypnotize. So she went, ah! She started running, and what happened? We hear a grumble, boom, 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 boom. We hear footsteps, boom, 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 boom. It's all the kids, and they're chasing after her. They're running. They're going. She's going. She goes through the front door. All these kids, they go through the windows. They went through the windows because they don't feel anything when they're like that. So they went through the window. She's running. She went into another house, into some random person's house. She's running through that house. They went through that house. She kept running. She went through another house. They went through the windows of another house. And she running. She tripped. She went, ah, ah. Because she's a sick lady, so she can't run that far. And she's sick. She's like, the kid. So as she tripped, one kid catches her. She trips, the kid catches her. And they come down with her. They go, all the 15 kids, they come down with her. And do you know what these kids do? These kids, they only had soup to eat from Alex. Like, the only thing Alex was able to give them was soup. So, those kids were hungry. They were hungry. So, what did they do to this creepy old lady? Ooh. They shared a meal. They shared a 15-course meal between all these 15 kids. A 15-course meal, 15 kids. They said, yummy. Yummy. Because they're still in this trance from this lady. They said, yummy. Yummy. And they went all up on this old lady. All up on her legs, arms, body, butts. It was going up in the air. These kids, blood all up on these kids. Blood. And what happened? After she was fully from being split into a 15-course meal, then the kids stood up and they were just standing there. I think they were slowly getting out of the trance, but they were standing there. And we see Alex, we see all of the people that were chasing everyone. They stopped. They were done being hunted down, being cursed by this lady, because the second all the people that were cursed by her, they stopped being in the trance. They stopped. So, because her blood is gone, I guess, or because she was sticking her stuff with blood, which I'm like, the lady's lucky she didn't get tetanus, but that's besides the point. So, all the blood gone. Everyone was like, oh my god, woo. And all the kids, they get returned to their parents. And it took them a long time to heal. Like, most kids, they couldn't speak for a year. Like, when you're all tranced up and like someone did juju on you, like it does a lot. When you eat up an old lady together, it does a lot. So I don't think you're really able to talk after that. So yeah, it's not gonna happen. So in my opinion, I'm like, how do you explain? How do you explain what happened? Because like the person that put everyone in this curse in this trance, she's gone. She got eaten up. She's gone. So how do you explain all these bodies? Because there were multiple people that had to get like to stop them from killing people. So how do you explain? That's my question. But obviously the movie doesn't go through that part. They just went, everyone started to slowly heal. And that was the end of the movie. That was the end of Weapons. The horror movie that was out. And it was a really good movie. So there were really crazy twists and turns within this movie that it kept you on your feet. It kept you being like, but what? But what? It kept you questioning yourself, questioning the other characters, because you're like, whose fault is this? It kept you seeing, because people were having visions and nightmares of this old creepy lady. She was in people's dreams. So you're like, what is going on? And at first, she looked like a clown. So I was like, what is this clown doing in their dream? She was just a creepy old witch lady. But yeah, there were so many twists and turns to the movie. And it wasn't like a movie where like, you know what's gonna happen. It was definitely like you had to go through the whole movie and really pay attention to know what was going on. And there was definitely like, yeah, there were few jump scares, but it was a whole lot of like, oh my god. It was a whole lot of don't go in there. It's a whole lot of run. A whole lot of that. And I really recommend that movie to people. It was good. I liked it. Yeah, that was Weapons. I also watched another movie. What's it called? Bring Her Back. And oof, that movie. That movie kind of. That movie took you on some crazy twists and turns. Bring Her Back. Maybe next week I'll review that, but there was a whole lot of what is going on, because before I watched the Talk to Me like a couple years ago, that was like, I guess they're connected. So Talk to Me came out like 2023, I'm pretty sure. And I'd watched that one in theaters and it was really good, and I was like, oh, this is a good one. So, and that one, they were just like, these kids were playing around and they were just like talking to ghosts a little bit left and right. So I was like, oh, kids playing and talking to ghosts. So I thought that's what Bring Her Back was gonna be about. But oof, Bring Her Back was a whole lot darker. A whole lot darker. Like to the point where you're like, I don't know if I could go that dark. It was so dark. So dark. But yeah, Bring Her Back was something else. Maybe I'll review that. But Weapons, I 100% recommend. Even though I did a whole recap on it, but if you didn't watch this whole thing, it doesn't make sense anyways. So watching it on your own would make more sense. And yeah, I did do some movement to show what happened, but you know, they had like character names and like, you know, seeing what actually happened would make more sense. But yeah, I gotta go. Thank you for watching. Like, comment. Do people want to see movies? Want me to recap movies or shows on my lives? Like, what do people want? Because I feel like yes, I may jump around, but I feel like I do a good thing of showing like what's going on, like, and making some things a little more dramatic. I don't know. Yeah, but that was it. Forgot this is my outfit today. But yeah, I don't know. It was a crazy movie, but all of them were crazy. Yeah, I binged a few movies this weekend, so yeah, there was definitely a lot going on. But yeah, thank you for staying. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow my Patreon. I'm live every Monday. Bye.